Come on now, get up. For mornings with Vernon. Get up now, let's go. Get up now, turn it up now. 1, 2, 3, let's get it now. It's time for mornings with Vernon. Yeah. Yeah. Get up now, come on now. Get up. For mornings with Vernon. Get up now, let's go. Get up now, turn it up now. 1, 2, 3, let's get it now. It's time for mornings with Vernon. Yeah. Yeah. Get up now, come on now. Get up. For mornings with Vernon. Get up now, let's go. Get up now, turn it up now. 1, 2, 3, let's get it now. It's time for mornings with Vernon. Yeah. Yeah. Get up now, come on now. Get up. For mornings with Vernon. Get up now, let's go. Get up now, turn it up now. 1, 2, 3, let's get it now. It's time for mornings with Vernon. Yeah. Yeah. Get up now, come on now. Get up. For mornings with Vernon. Get up now, let's go. Get up now, turn it up now. 1,
Testing 1, 2.
it's time for mornings with Vernon.
All right, y'all. Good morning.
Yeah. Get up now, come on now. Get up now, let's go. Get up now, turn it up now. 1, 2, 3, let's get it now. It's time for mornings with Vernon.
Good morning, good morning, good morning.
Yeah. Get up now, come on now. Get up. For mornings with Vernon. Get up now, let's go.
Morning with Vernon, morning with Vernon.
Yeah. Yeah. Get up now, come on now. Get up. For mornings with Vernon. Get up now, let's go. Get up now, turn it up now. 1, 2, 3, let's get it now. It's time for mornings with Vernon. Yeah. Yeah. Get up now, come on now.
All right, everybody. Good morning, good morning. You got Vernon this morning. Good morning.
Get up now,
Yeah,
let's
you
go.
got Vernon this
Turn it
morning.
up now. 1, 2, 3, let's get it.
All right, y'all. Good morning. Good morning. It's a Wednesday hump day, y'all. Hump day, hump day. You get me rubbing my eyes this morning. You mean tell me I didn't get enough sleep last night? I don't know whether I did or not. But anyway, I'm here and ready to roll on a Wednesday morning, y'all. Yes, sir. It is hump day, y'all. Y'all get up and get at it, okay? Get up and get at it. Yes, sir. Trying to get them children to school's back in, and the whole 9 yards. And got to get to work. Just turn on WBQP. Make sure that we on around the world on the internet. We good for that, for the internet around the world. Make sure we good right here locally. We good. I'm just checking all of my vitals and everything. And so that we look like we're good there. And yeah, we good. We good around the world, y'all. Good morning. You got Vernon this morning. All right, y'all. Hump day, hump day, hump day. We had a good full day today. And let me give you the line up. All right. Let me give you the lineup of this morning. We're going to be talking about things around, in and around your community, around your city, around your county, around your region, around your state, and around the world. Just some basic headlines, y'all. Just a couple basic headlines. So you'll know before you get up and go to work, or before you get up and take them children to school, and before you get up and just get up. Maybe that will definitely will get you up and going again. Okay, get you up and going again. And if you're in the bed, y'all. Only thing you got to do, if you're in the bed, just turn on Alexa. Okay, turn Alexa on. She will definitely pick us up on Alexa. If you're in the car, if you're traveling, go to CarPlay or whatever and turn it on. Or basically just get your phone. This is it right here. On your phone is all you need right here. Okay, all you need. And again, what we're saying, just turn on. Yep, just turn on RDO. It's RDO TO/WBQP. Very easy, y'all. RDO-WBQP. I want to say good morning to everybody this morning under the sound of my voice this morning. And we just want to make sure everybody is up and adamant, as I say, up and adamant, and so that you can have a great day, a great hump day. All right, y'all. Just as we usually do, we'll take a quick commercial break. Y'all, a quick commercial break, and when we come back from our commercial break, alrighty, then we will get into some things that going on around the world, okay? Things that going on around the world. All right, y'all. Stay tuned. I'll be right back. But tell everybody to check that browser, rdo.to/WBQP. rdo.to/WBQP. And then you get us, you get the app, and you get everything. All right? All right, then. We'll see you in just a few minutes.
It's time for Mornings with Vernon. Yeah. Yeah. Get up now. Come on now. Get up. For Mornings with Vernon. Get up now. Let's go. Get up now. Turn it up now. 1, 2, 3. Let's get it now. It's time for Mornings with Vernon. Yeah. Yeah. Get up now. Come on now. Get up. For Mornings with Vernon. Get up now. Let's go. Get up now. Turn it up now. 1, 2, 3. Let's get it now.
I still have a dream.
The Martin Luther King Jr. Parade, live on Blab TV, downtown Palafox Street in Pensacola.
It is a dream deeply rooted in the American dream.
You don't want to miss the citywide celebration, downtown Palafox Street in Pensacola, live on Blab TV.
I have a dream that one day this nation will rise up.
Some mobile companies make it hard to get a good deal. But at Cox Mobile, we know there's a better way to save. A smarter way. That's why we run on the network with unbeatable 5G reliability without breaking the bank. You'll pay as low as $30 per line. It's a win-win. Cox Mobile, the smart way to mobile.
Navigating heart care can be challenging. Baptist makes it better with the latest treatments and innovations and the area's largest, most experienced heart team ready to create a care plan just for you. All when you need us most. Let Baptist make it better. Baptist Healthcare.
And action.
Hey, Escambia. Today, we're talking trash, specifically bulk waste.
Starting July 1st, 2023, bulk waste service will be called for pickup. You can schedule a pickup by calling the ECUA Customer Service Department anytime before 2 p.m. on the day prior to your normal pickup day. Bulk pickup is still included at no additional charge.
Check out ecua.fl.gov for more information.
Know what to throw, 850.
Got projects in mind? A Pen Air home equity line gives you access to funds without the fees. Pen Air Credit Union. Join us.
It's time for mornings with Vernon. Yeah. Yeah. Get up now. Come on now. Get up. For mornings with Vernon. Get up now. Let's go. Get up now. Turn it up now. 1, 2, 3. Let's get it out.
All right, let's go to good morning. Good morning. You got Vernon this morning. Wednesday morning, hump day, y'all. Today is January the 7th, y'all. January the 7th, 2026. Yes, 2026. You know, yesterday we celebrated, if you will. It was a Sandra moment, one of the darkest days in history. And that was the 5th anniversary of January the 6th, y'all. Yes, sir. One of the darkest days in American history, y'all, was on yesterday. But let me tell you what the lineup. I didn't tell you who we all going to have on this morning. You know, we usually do our thing and we talk about the news and what's going on in and around your community. We're going to have a Black History break. We're going to have an MLK motivational moment at 7:30 this morning. We plan to have Mr. Community, Mr. Ellison Bennett, okay? I call him Mr. Community, at 7:30 for his community report. And we're going to talk about something when Ellison comes on that about funeral services we're going to be dealing with. Let me bring my camera down just a hair. Now, see what I did? I did something I shouldn't have messed with. But anyhow, good morning. And then around 8 o'clock time frame, we got Mr. Charles Thornton. Yeah, Charles is going to be on. Charles is a member of the member of the Republican Party. He's on with us every week to give us the other side with Charles D. Thornton, called The Other Side. Charles also has a show called The Thornton Review. It plays here every week on WBQP. It's a community show, and he interviewed a lot of the prominent people in this community. Okay, and also around 7:30 time frame, hopefully we're going to have Mrs. Jill 7:45 time frame. Hopefully we have Mrs. Jill Daggs on, and she's going to give us what we call Inside Okaloosa, what's going over in Crestview and over in Fort Walton Beach area this morning. And then our councilman of District 7, City Councilman Delarius Wiggins, should be joining us about 8:45 this morning. So we got a pretty star-studded program lined up for you today. So hopefully that you can do that, and hopefully about 7:50 time frame, Sunshine Corner. Sunshine should check in. What I call a sunshine moment to let you know what's going on in Sunshine's Corner. Okay? Yeah, in Sunshine Corner. That's what we call that, in Sunshine's Corner. She just let you know who the guest you're gonna have on today, and her show follows this show every day at 9 o'clock, okay? Every day at 9 o'clock, okay? Alrighty, y'all. Let's see. Can we get into it this morning and look at the newsreel that is happening in and around our area and in and around the state of Florida and the national. If you have been a great fan of Mexican food, that was a long-time taco stand that's been around for a pretty good little while now. It's located on 12th Avenue. In fact, it's been around probably since 2016. It is permanently closing. They thought they had a buyer for it, but something went not right. Okay, I don't know what happened, but there has been a decision to close the Taco Mexicano little restaurant, if you will, that used to be located there on 12th Avenue. And so it is gone. It is gone. It is gone. There also in the news, in the local news, there was a young man, I guess he was so young, but had threatened Escambia County clerk Pam Childers. Okay, had threatened Escambia clerk Pam Childers, and they figured that he must be off of his rocker, I guess. I don't know, but at any rate, they're gonna send him for a mental evaluation, y'all. He gonna need to have a mental evaluation, if you will. Okay, if you will. So make sure that we're also on Facebook this morning and YouTube. So don't tell everybody that folks that get us through social media, make sure that we're there. And when we're on social media, we want you to share, like, share, and do whatever. If you're getting it from YouTube, make sure that you subscribe. Okay, make sure you subscribe on YouTube. If you're on Facebook, make sure you share with your friends on here, and like, and all this other kinds of stuff that we're supposed to do. Let's do it, okay? And spread the word about Morning with Vernon, okay? Morning with Vernon. All right, y'all. All right, turning another page. Gallery night is back for the folks that enjoy going down on Fridays and doing gallery night. It is back. It is back. So go and look at your schedule, okay? And on each Friday night, there's a whole different schedule for gallery night, and it's a fun time in Pensacola. I don't know, with the reimagining of Palafox, it's certainly going to have an impact on gallery night as well. So that's why you need to see your schedule, okay? See your schedule on gallery night to see when, where, and what round it is. All right, I'll turn in another page. The Pensacola man was sentenced for 10 years, okay, for major meth distribution. Okay, he's sentenced for 10 years. Remember, we reported about that individual busted, and he was going to trial. And the judge sentenced him to 10 years for meth distribution, what they call major meth distribution. Also, the Gulf Coast Kids House is breaking ground on a new project there on 12th Avenue. They call it Healing Gardens, okay? So they're breaking ground, the Gulf Coast Kids House, okay? I'll put that alongside of you, all right? The Crestview Police Department adopted some new technology, y'all, and it's probably going to be picking up around the country, and it's a little bit controversial for what they're doing for right now, because the new technology they're employing is AI for their body cam. You know, when there's an involvement in the body cam, rather than the officer taking time to do a report, okay, the AI is now will take over doing the reports for the officer, okay? And there have been some issues about how accurate that can be, because, you know, sometimes you use AI. AI is not always 100% accurate, and that has been the controversy of it. But the city of Crestview will be deploying that new technology, AI for for body cams, okay, to do their report. So we'll see how that will play out, okay? That will play out. We had another fire, y'all, and y'all be careful. As I has indicated to you earlier and many times before, be very careful, be very careful, be very vigilant with around kitchen fires, around space heaters, candles, and so forth. Make sure that you got a smoke alarm in your house and a CO detector, carbon monoxide detector in your house. If you don't have those, get one. They don't cost very much money, and I believe that the fire department used to issue them for free. Okay, used to issue them free, but if you do have one, check the batteries in it. Okay, check the battery in it to make sure. Now, sometime I go to people's house and I hear this chirp, that's telling you that the battery is very low. So it's time to change the battery. So if you need to change the battery in your smoke detector, in your carbon monoxide detector, please do so as soon as possible, as soon as practical, because it could save your life, okay? Could save your life. So that was a mobile home that caught a fire, and there was a complete, total loss. So please be careful in that arena. They arrested a Mexican national, y'all, locally here, and he faced 20 years for re-entering back into the United States. I guess they must have deported the old boy first, and he came back and he committed a sex crime, okay, a sex crime. So this time, before they deport him, he's going to have to do 20 years of hard time, and then he will get deported. So look out for that. If you're an immigrant and you're sneaking into this country, you better keep a low profile. That's all I can tell you. ICE is out there, ready to pounce, okay? For the folks that is in the military and the folks that work at Naval Air Station Pensacola, on yesterday, I believe on yesterday, you had the CNO, which is the Chief of Naval Operations, the highest military officer in the chain of command in the Navy, okay? And it's these, we call him the CNO. The CNO, he came down yesterday at NAS. I believe it was yesterday. We came down to discuss AI in fitness, okay? AI in fitness. The impact the AI will have on the military. He will spoke about that. And also the new fitness challenge, okay? The new Secretary of Defense, Pete Hegseth, said that he don't want any fat soldiers, okay? He don't want any fat soldiers. That certainly is a departure from what I know about the military, okay? I can remember when I was in the military, you couldn't be a chief petty officer unless you had a big beer gut, okay? But now things are changing. The military has always had fitness standards. Don't ever get me wrong. You always had fitness standards. There's a certain amount of tests you have to pass annually in order to maintain, and regardless of your size. You can be 400 pounds if you wanted to be, as long as you can pass that physical exam, and then you have no problem. In the Air Force, we used to call it, they give you a chance, okay? They give you a chance to get that weight down, to give you a chance to pass your standards. And we used to lovingly call it the Fat Boy Program. You get put on the Fat Boy Program, and you have to do certain things until you can pass it. Because if you didn't get off the Fat Boy Program, we used to refer to it as, or you didn't pass the physical standards, okay, and then you're subject to be put out. So the military has always maintained standards, okay? It wasn't as strict on weight as there was on the standard, okay? Your weight might be heavier than what you usually are, but if you can pass the exams, the physical exam, then you was okay. Apparently there's a new standard now. You can't be fat. You're gonna have to be ripped, I guess, now in the military. So I think the CNO must have talked about that when he was here on yesterday for the Navy. There's turning the page again. That was a young lady by the name of Brandy Mason that was murdered here in 2016. And it's a cold case. And so the family has renewed its effort. There is a reward out to so that they can bring her killer back to justice, okay? Back to justice. So we've got a lot of cold cases out there, and they will remain cold unless somebody demands justice for your family. And this family has reached out to the news media since this is the anniversary for death, and that we're going to try to renew and recall any information. And time changes too. Technology changes, new stuff. People maybe can remember stuff they didn't remember before. But there's a new effort on trying to bring the killer of Miss Brandy Mason back to the forefront. Okay. Also, they closed the case, a cold case in Niceville. A man that was murdered and murdered somebody back in 1973, and they had a suspect. Been having a suspect for all that time, but the suspect got killed in a car accident recently over in Alabama. And so, as I understand it, that the cold case is going to be even colder now. I think they want to just drop the case because they were so certain that this suspect, a person of interest, I don't know the difference between the suspect and the person of interest, but that person was killed in a car accident. And so they no longer are going to pursuing this 1973 cold case, as I understand it. I've turned in a different page for local and state news, if you will. There has been some concern over the interim president at the University of West Florida. There was some controversy in terms of getting him appointed as the interim University of West Florida president, but now an investigation is being ensued because of an anonymous complaint that was sent to the state. They saying that when he was in charge of the charter school project, some funny business went on. Okay, some funny business was going on, and so he is now under fire, if you will, if not under investigation regarding those efforts when he was in charge of the charter school project before he became the University of West Florida interim president. Okay, a 33-year-old man also was arrested on because of unprovoked attacks right here in Pensacola, right? Okay, and he was attacking older folks, if you will, downtown. He was a 33-year-old man was attacking anybody he saw that was over 70 years old. So he had been apprehended. Man, it's amazing what we can come into. Yeah, also yesterday, because of January 6th, and not because of January 6th, but as a result of January 6th, a group of citizens, if you will, they're unorganized. It was an unorganized group of citizens, as I understand it. That was a call to protest and fascism in this country. So a group of individuals, okay, dressed all in black, had black masks, but they're all carrying signs, what they call a silent protest against fascism. Okay, And it just so happened to coincide with January, the 5th anniversary of January the 6th. So it kind of served a twofold purpose. Yesterday we had a young lady on, Margaret was talking about that very event itself and why they was protesting fascism in America. So if you don't know what I'm talking about, what fascism is, you better get on board. One thing I do know is that when we call out fascism, we call out racism, we call out misogynist, we call out all of these isms, somebody might want to pay attention to them. I can remember the days that nobody, the question is, they asked the question, is the president a fascist? Okay. Well, I remember in 2015, they asked the same question, was the president a racist? Okay. And so, but everybody failed to call it out. All I can tell you is, regardless of what your definition is, okay, and my grandmother used to always tell me, actions speak louder than words. You may not want to call it out, and I think for not calling it out, it might be too late. You know, being silent on certain things is just sometimes it's unacceptable. When we had an opportunity to know that we would not have elected a racist president, we don't think nobody. We wanted a president gonna represent all of the people, okay, not a certain segment of the population. And they failed to call him a racist. I didn't. I always thought he was racist, and I still believe to this day he's a racist. And now the question that leads to now, is he a fascist? All I can say is, look at his action. Actions speak louder than words. You know, they got an old saying about if it looked like a duck, if it walked like a duck, if it quacked like a duck, well, it might be a duck. So, I don't know. But anyway, turn the page on that, because another Florida man, these kind of, some of the light moments in the news, if you will. They arrested a man. This is don't ask me. You got to read the story. Go to your news source. Just go to your news sources and find out the conditions that led up to this arrest. I'm not quite sure. All I got was the headline, because I grabbed this headline because I thought it was kind of funny and kind of cute. But anyway, they arrested a Florida man wearing lace lingerie, and he had a gun hidden under his prosthetic breast. How did they know that? I don't know. And what was the circumstance led up to that? I was going to try to find out the details on it, but I didn't have time to research the details on what led up to the arrest, why he was dressed like that, and so forth. Okay, but all I know is that because he had a gun hid under his prosthetic breast as he was dressed in lace lingerie, he was carted off to jail. Wow. Makes it on the national scene. Be careful, because I can't remember what city this was in, but it could happen right here in Pensacola. So just be very vigilant about what you do and how you interact with other people. Road rage don't always happen on the road. Okay, road rage happens in the parking lot. Road rage happens in the grocery store. Road rage, and whatever kind of rage you want to call it, but it is rage, and that brings up another question about mental health in this country. A man shot and killed in a parking lot over a parking space at a Target. Okay, wasn't here locally, but that's not the point. Whether it's here locally or not, that's not the point. The point is, do not walk away so you can tell the story yourself. Don't give up your life over a stupid parking place. Don't give up your life over a stupid incident, a road rage, or somebody cutting you off. Your best bet is to ignore it. Do not make eye contact with the individual. Drive on your own business. Do not engage him. Call 911 if you have to, and avoid the situation at all costs. Okay, avoid the situation at all costs, because it is certainly an issue. And mental health in this country now is at an all-time high. Okay, and so please keep that in mind. Okay, keep that in mind. Speaking of illnesses, there's a national, I want to call it an epidemic, but I know that takes on a different legal meaning when you say an epidemic. But the flu around the country have killed 11,000 people or so. I believe that's the statistics. It's about 11,000 people, and 4 or 5 children have died because of this new strand of flu. So be careful. Still, I don't care what politically correctness says. Wear your mask, okay? If you got a cold, you might want to just wear a mask just to protect yourself against other people, because some people don't have colds and flus, and they don't wear a mask. They can pass on to you. So the only defense that you have to protect yourself right now is a mask. So you do that if you will. Try to protect your children. Try to protect your children. Which leads to another national story, which is that your Secretary of Health, Secretary Kennedy, has also reduced the number of immunization from the CDC from 17 down to 11 now. And it causing a lot of controversy about whether or not who should be vaccinated. And one of the shots, if I'm not mistaken, that he does not recommend is a flu shot. Okay, so don't listen to your Secretary of Defense. Listen to your doctor. Whatever your doctor recommends for you. And then if I were you, I would also follow my doctor's advice. Okay, just follow your doctor's advice, if you will. Okay, follow your doctor's advice for you and your children. All right. Remember we reported last week about a incident on I-10 that caused a fiery crash on I-10 that injured a lot of people. That man was arrested. The story behind that, he was pulled over, and as the cop was trying to identify who he was, running his thing, he fled. He fled and went the wrong way on I-10 and caused a head-on accident that caused a fire on I-10. So keep that in mind. As I'm recapping here, as I would say, yesterday, January 6th was recognized by both sides. I understand that the insurrectionists also had their march on in DC for the Capitol, and those the folks that also what I call the legitimate people that recognize this as a insurrection, also had thing. The White House website had something on it, just trying to erase history. Just trying to erase. Don't believe your eyes. What you saw and what you witnessed with your own eyes in January 6th. They're trying to rewrite history to let you think that this wasn't an insurrection. It definitely was an insurrection. Jack Smith testified on the Hill last week, I believe it was, and he verified that in his investigation, it was in private, but a lot of it leaked out. But he testified that there was evidence beyond a reasonable doubt that Donald Trump was responsible for January 6th. And before they could bring him down on those charges, he was reelected president. That's just the damnedest thing I can understand in my life. And I still contend that, something smell about that. Okay, that's my opinion. Okay, I still believe that I would go down in the annals. I would go down to my death believing that. I don't know about the 2020 election was fraudulent, but I definitely believe the 2024. And you can see how that works, right? Whatever side you're on, that's whatever side you believe. Okay, so I'm believing that the 2020 election was legitimate and the 2024 election was fraudulent. But even though nobody contested the 2024 election, but he contested the 2020 election. Okay, all right, y'all. That is what we got here in terms of what's going on in around your community. When we come back from a commercial break, y'all, we're going to be talking about, the local stuff and what's happening, about the parades and stuff like that, okay? When we come back from this commercial break, all the local stuff. And then at 7:30 time frame, which is not too long from now, we'll be talking, hopefully we'll be talking with Mr. Ellison Bennett. We're going to give you some Black History nuggets. We're going to give you an MLK motivational nugget. Since this January is the celebration, the legacy of Dr. King. Y'all, we're going to have to do it. This administration has tried to erase history, particularly Black history, try to erase anything that deals with diversity, inclusion, and equity. But it is incumbent on us to keep these things alive. And so I'm going to try to do my part on this station till they shut me down to keep hope alive. Okay? To keep hope alive. All right, y'all. I'll be right back. It's hump day, and y'all tell everybody that Vernon is on. And again, how to get us? Very easy. RDO.TO/WBQP. I'm going to say it again. Everybody, type it into your text and send it out to everybody. Type it into your group list, send it out to everybody so they can get it. If you're on social media, just type it in to your comments on your social media, RDO.TO/WBQP. Okay? That was the only thing you have to do. All right? And tell everybody we on. All right, y'all. I'll be right back after these important messages.
It's time for Mornings with Vernon. Yeah. Yeah. Get up now. Come on now. Get up. For Mornings with Vernon. Get up now. Let's get it out.
Navigating healthcare is hard. Baptist makes it better. With convenient locations, easy scheduling, and skilled, compassionate doctors, all when you need us most. The next time you need care, let Baptist make it better. Baptist Healthcare.
I still have a dream.
The Martin Luther King Jr. Parade, live on Blab TV, downtown Palafox Street in Pensacola.
It is a dream deeply rooted in the American dream.
You don't want to miss the citywide celebration, downtown Palafox Street in Pensacola, live on Blab TV.
I have a dream that one day this nation will rise up.
From affordable home equity lines and home loans to high-yield checking that pays 5.05% APY, Pen Air combines innovative banking with a commitment to our community. Pen Air Credit Union. Join us.
The Service Center at Pete Moore Chevrolet can maintain the life of your vehicle regardless of make or model. Our certified factory-trained technicians have the expertise for domestic and import vehicles. And the Pete Moore Advantage provides you complimentary services whenever you stop by. Our Collision Center accepts all insurance, provides lifetime warranties on all workmanship and paint, and offers a deductible reimbursement program. So when you need service or repair, let the Pete Moore Service and Collision Center work for you.
Hi, I'm Jessica Ford. I'm the owner of FD Builds. Energy efficiency is very important in today's market. With higher interest rates and rising costs, it's important that home buyers maintain their bottom line of affordability. The nice thing about natural gas and natural gas appliances is that it's more energy efficient than their electrical counterparts, and at the end of the day, utility bills are lower. Our relationship with the Pensacola Energy team is phenomenal. From customer service to their field teams, it's just a seamless process. We love Pensacola Energy.
I still have a dream.
The Martin Luther King Jr. Parade, live on Blab TV, downtown Palafox Street in Pensacola.
It is a dream deeply rooted in the American dream.
You don't want to miss the citywide celebration, downtown Palafox Street in Pensacola, live on Blab TV.
I have a dream that one day this nation will rise up.
Looking to start a career or change your current career? Pensacola State College is the place for you. Choose from short-term, high-demand career and technical education programs ranging from commercial vehicle driving to medical assisting. Call 850-484-2000.
It's time for Mornings with Vernon. Yeah. Yeah. Get up now. Come on now. Get up. For Mornings with Vernon. Get up now. Let's go. Get up now. Turn it up now. 1, 2, 3. Let's get it out.
All right, y'all. Good morning. Good morning. Morning with Vernon, y'all. Good morning. Morning with Vernon. Yeah. Hopefully we'll be talking at 7:30, y'all, with Mr. Community. That is Mr. Ellison Bennett, y'all. And following Ellison Bennett, hopefully we'll be talking to Miss Jill Daggs for Inside Okaloosa. And around 8 o'clock time frame, hopefully we'll be talking to Mr. Charles D. Thornton, talking about the other side, and hopefully about 8:30 time frame we'll be talking to Mr. Delarium Poe about what's going on in the city of Pensacola and the Baptist stuff, and about 8:50 this morning we'll hopefully see what's going on in Sunshine's Corner, y'all. Yeah, you got it. All right, y'all, let's talk about what's happening locally here, okay? What's happening locally in Pensacola? You know, now it's time for the parades. I know you're getting ready. Some folks said, well, what did the Mardi Gras parade? Well, yeah, the Mardi Gras parade too. Yeah, the Mardi Gras parade too. But I'm talking about the MLK parade. MLK parade is going to be on January 19th. I was very close to it. It's still time. You can still register. The thing I don't like about it, y'all wait till the last minute to register. But hey, it is what it is. And I know us. We always do that. Okay? We always do that. Wait till the last minute to do everything. Okay? But anyhow, we just want you to register. And we're going to have a great parade that's going to be on January the 19th, okay? MLK Day, if it don't get, well, it's a national holiday. I was a little bit concerned about the Trump administration trying to do away with that holiday. But it's been enacted by Congress, okay? So he can't easily do away with it. But you know what he did do away with is that Generally speaking, on January, on MLK holidays and Juneteenth holidays, and most holidays, you could get into the federal parks for free. He took that away. So if you camping or you want to go out to the National Seashore or wherever, any of the national parks on that day to celebrate, then you will have to pay. Well, one place you do not have to pay, and that is downtown to watch the parade. So come on downtown and watch the parade. We got a few changes this year that we didn't have before, only because they reimagining Palafox, in-town Palafox. So if you go in town, there's constructions you can't get through there. You can walk through, but you cannot drive through anymore. So therefore, the parade route is altered slightly to go down Jefferson Avenue as opposed to Palafox. Excuse me. Wow. Okay, let me clear my throat. Maybe I should have had a shot of liquor or something that would clear my throat, but I doubt it. But anyhow, y'all, the parade is on and popping for January the 19th downtown. So go to your same location, go to the same place you usually go to line up and everything. If you're a food vendor, if you wanted to make some money downtown, now's the time to do it. It's still time to register for your food trucks or whatever food vendors that you set up. You can set up downtown. The fee is only $100, I believe. It's a setup for your vendor's fee for downtown. Okay, it's only $100. Also, the registration fee is, I think, for the MLK parade is on $175, and I don't think that's been raised for a while. But any rate, we got a lot of activity. We got the MLK, we got the Pensacola parade on that day, 11 o'clock. We got the Milton parade at 9 a.m. We got the Cantumba parade at 4 o'clock. Okay, at 4 o'clock, and hopefully we'll have folks to talk about that. Not only that, we got a lot of other activities on the MLK weekend. We're going to start the week off right as we do. We start celebrating MLK starting on that Thursday. We have a youth night at 7:30 at the Zion Hope Primitive Baptist Church. On Saturday, we'll have the prayer breakfast. The prayer breakfast on Saturday morning at 8 a.m. And then Sunday, we would have the MLK religious program at 3 p.m. And of course, on Monday, we will have the MLK parade downtown. The parade is going to be recorded and live streamed live. Okay, recorded and live streamed live from WBQP TV. We'll record it live on TV channel 12.1 and 12.8 and Blab TV. WBQP have contracted with Blab, so we'll make sure that the parade is not only locally but regional wide. We use Blab because Blab can get us a wider distribution. We can go to Mobile, we can go to Monroeville, we can go to Fort Walton Beach by using Blab's platform. And so that is what we usually do every year. So we can give the parade the widest consideration as we usually always do, okay? As we always do. Also, the other activities, I got Mr. Ellison, Ben Ellison, stand by, okay? Okay. The other activities in town, with our neighbors over in Santa Rosa County. We're having a parade and a block party over in Okaloosa County. Gio's going to talk about that this morning, about what's going on in Okaloosa County, all the MLK activities in Crestview and over in Fort Walton Beach. And Miss Jill over in Santa Rosa County will also report tomorrow. I believe it's tomorrow. She's going to come in to give us hang on for 1 minute here. I got to give us a report for Santa Rosa County of all of the activities. And of course, we're going to have somebody call in to us and give us a report on what's happening also in Cantonment and on all points north in terms of the MLK parade. Okay, and so a lot of things going on with the MLK month. We want to celebrate MLK, his legacy throughout the month of January. And don't let's stop in January. Don't let's stop there. Let's celebrate MLK throughout the year. Let's celebrate Black history throughout the year. We're going to have to maintain our own legacy and our own history. We see that with this administration, it is trying to eliminate and kill anything that have to do with our history and our legacy. All right, good morning, y'all. I got every Wednesday I have Mr. Community. I call Ellison Bennett Mr. Community. He checks in every Wednesday morning around this time, and he let us know what's going on in the community, any recent death. You know, he's the community. He's the man that knows it all that's going on in the community. Ellison, good morning, my man. How you doing this morning?
Good morning and Happy New Year to you and your family and your listening audience. And excuse me, thank you for the kind words. I just try to be informed and share information because we need that in our community. We need to be connected with each other. So in saying that, I want to send my condolences out to the family of James Williams. The people that do know him know he was an educator. He was a member of the Historical Society, and I believe he was a member of Movement for Change as well, but he passed over the weekend. Yeah. Hopper Morris Funeral Home on Airport and 12th Avenue is handling his services. So if anyone want to know any detail, again, Hopper Morris on 12th and Airport is handling his services.
Okay, very good. I'm glad you shared that because many of us probably did not know that, Ellison.
Oh yeah, because I called several funeral homes since Monday, and no one knew. I even called a medical examiner to ask what funeral home he had been released to, and even they didn't know. So I'm glad that we was able to get that information out to the public. Vernon, we know we are upon the Dr. Martin Luther King Legacy Celebration. Youth Night will be Thursday at Zion Hope. And then we have the prayer breakfast on Saturday morning, religious service on Sunday afternoon, and then the parade on Monday. And anyone that need any details or want to know anything about the time slot for each event, I would ask them to call Pastor Brandon Mason at Zion Hope or Dr. Doug Young at Mount Canaan, and they could give you all that information.
Okay. All righty. Very good. Now, Ellison, I want to ask you one other thing. Since we're educating the community, and I know you know this, and I know you into the business of funerals and caskets and things, because you own your own casket business. But one of the things I did not know until I met you that you don't have to. You don't have to use the funeral home casket business. You could buy an independent. You could do an independent casket. If I'm not right, you don't have to purchase your casket from.
You're absolutely right.
Tell us a little bit about that, because most folks, in the time of death, most folks are just overwhelmed by that, and they don't sometimes they don't plan this stuff out. They don't think about it, and then whatever the funeral homes offer them is what they accept. But maybe they just don't know that. I did not know that until I met you some years ago, and you told me that, well, you can independently buy your casket from anybody that you want to buy it from. You don't have to buy it from the funeral home. And so, tell us about the laws about that. And
issued a pamphlet that the funeral home cannot refuse a casket from a third party, if you will, even an urn, and you don't have to use a hearse. Tradition, people always purchase the casket and use the hearse that the funeral home would have. But people need to be educated on the process. I tell people all the time, a lot of people don't have $10,000 or $15,000 to spend on a service, and older insurance policies that was issued to our parents and grandparents just does not have a face value for $10,000, $20,000, $30,000. So if a person want to purchase a casket from me, they come in, they make a selection, they pay me, and then I order it out of Atlanta or Dallas. I could have it flown in from Dallas, or they would drive it in from Atlanta within 24 hours. So it's not a long process.
Mm-hmm.
I caution people to ordering caskets online. Over the last 5 years, I have had people call me and even funeral homes say, "Hey, Ellison, I have a family waiting on the casket." I say, "Well, hey, the people didn't contact me. They would go online themselves and order something, and somebody running a scam never delivered a casket." So
right.
People need to be very cautious of giving their banking information to companies online, whether it's an urn or a casket or what have you, because there's a lot of people out there that would take advantage of people at a vulnerable time in their life.
Yeah, that is so true. That is so true, Ellison. That is so true. All right, is there anything else, Ellison, you want to share with us?
Well, Vern, we have a lot of veterans here in Escambia County, and I posted on my Facebook page, please, every veteran listening to your program, stand with Senator Kelly. Just send him a word of encouragement. What they're doing to this man is just unbelievable. He's a war veteran. He's a U.S. senator, and we as a community don't have to take all this mega nonsense that's going on. But people, we the people of this country, need to adhere to the Constitution, because the current administration care less about the Constitution of the United States.
Yeah, that is so true. That is so true. Ellison, thank you for your report. We'll see you again on next Wednesday with
yes, and please, everybody, support the MLK legacy and celebration, because without people it can't happen. I talked to Dr. Doug Young on last night. The prayer breakfast is just about sold out. I want to thank every church that have purchased a table. We know that Living the Dream also is coming up. That is something that's sponsored by Commissioner Luma May. So let's not listen to Charlie Kirk about the negative and hateful things he said about Dr. King and other people. Let's embrace the legacy of Dr. King, a man who gave his life for the betterment of mankind. So if you can't attend the youth services on Thursday, please attend the prayer breakfast. Ticket is only $20. Or the parade. Do something. Get involved in the process.
Yeah.
And you'll feel better about it.
That's true. All right, Ellison, thank you so much, y'all, okay?
Thank you. Have a blessed day.
All right, y'all. That's Mr. Ellison Bennett, Mr. Community. I want to take a MLK moment. Now, you know, I told you every week I got an MLK moment from inserts from some of his most famous speeches. And yesterday I played "Had I Sneezed," excerpts from that speech that he gave. And the day before then, we talked about the motivational speech that he gave to Bennett College. But today, I'm going to get an excerpt from his speech called I've been to the mountaintop. But when we finish that, when we come back, I got our guest, well, our host, not our guest, but our weekly host from Okaloosa County, y'all, Miss Jill Daggs with Inside Okaloosa. So we'll be right back, y'all. Stand by.
All we say to America is be true to what you said on paper. If I lived in China or even Russia or any totalitarian country, maybe I could understand some of these illegal injunctions. Maybe I could understand the denial of certain basic First Amendment privileges because they haven't committed themselves to that over there. But somewhere I read of the freedom of assembly. Somewhere I read of the freedom of speech. Somewhere I read of the freedom of press. Somewhere I read that the greatness of America is the right to protest far right. And so just as I say we aren't going to let any dogs or water hoses turn us around, we aren't going to let any injunction turn us around. Well, I don't know what will happen now. We've got some difficult days ahead. But it really doesn't matter with me now because I've been to the mountaintop. I don't mind. Like anybody, I would like to live a long life. Longevity has its place. But I'm not concerned about that now. I just want to do God's will. And He's allowed me to go up to the mountain. And I've looked over and I've seen the promised land. I may not get there with you, but I want you to know tonight that we as a people will get to the promised land. So I'm happy tonight. I'm not worried about anything. I'm not fearing any man. Mine eyes have seen the glory of the coming of the Lord.
All right, Pensacola, good morning, good morning. That is an excerpt from Dr. King. He gave that speech the night before he was assassinated. And wow, that's amazing. Called to the mountaintop. All right, Good morning. I have with me this morning a very special host of this show, Miss Jill Dagg. She's also a host of our Sunday night show called Our Voices, and she's from Okaloosa County, and she has inside Okaloosa, so we know what's going on with our neighbors over in Crestview, Florida, and Fort Walton Beach, Florida, and all points east in Okaloosa and Walton counties over there. Good morning, Jill. How are you?
Good morning. I am doing well. Excited for this opportunity, excited for another day, and very inspired with Martin Luther King's speech because we, the people, need to wake up. I think we've been way too
Absolutely.
long.
Absolutely need to wake up. And how relevant, even he gave that speech on April 3rd, 1968. But you see how relevant it is about the protests, and you know how things come around. It's just as relevant today as he would have made that speech last night.
Yes, he could have literally. We go to the MLK parades and the different events that they have, and it always seems, but today in 2026, you almost wish we could bring him back to life so he could galvanize the troops.
Yeah.
We don't have someone like Martin Luther King to tell us, hey, you can't give up. We have a lot of people saying it, but not someone who could say it, mean it. Like when he said that, his eyes had seen, and I'm like, he saw it, he knew it. He knew
Absolutely.
it. And here we are repeating it over and over again.
Yeah. January, so we still trying to keep his dream alive, Jill. And January, we take this time out to remember his life and his legacy, and thank God for him, really. And so we want everybody not to ever forget. Somebody said one time that if you, and I'm paraphrasing this, but if you forget your history, you're going to doom to repeat it. And we're seeing a lot of that repeat now.
We must have forgot it because we are repeating it.
Absolutely.
That's all I can say. I don't believe we've forgotten it, but if that statement is true, then those of us that can see know that we are absolutely repeating history. And some of us, like, I didn't live back then. So for me, I always hear you and Mr. McIntosh and Bill Snow and others say, we did this, and our grandparents and our parents even, who are like, we did it, we fought. And then there's our generation, and then the generation younger and younger who are like, what? You did what? What do you want us to do?
Yeah. Just one of the things, it's one thing to experience the things, and another thing is just to hear about it. And I know you guys on our panel on Sunday night get tired of hearing me and Jerry talk about way things used to be. But you know what I'm so afraid of, Gio, is that because we haven't experienced these things, we get into a lull and think that things might not happen. You think that things might not be able to roll back. But we begin to see it. History can repeat itself. And so we don't want to do that. But anyway, I don't want to infringe on that. We'll talk about that on Sunday nights on Our Voices at 7 o'clock every Sunday night, y'all, live on WBQP and on Facebook and all of the platforms that you're used to looking at. I repeated the show on Wednesday nights at 7 o'clock as well. So if you missed it then, or you can just go on to the app and just get it live on demand and everything. So you cannot miss it. But anyway, we want to see what's going on inside Okaloosa, Jill.
Hey, so welcome to Inside Okaloosa. I like Just Jay, but of course I'm Jill Lewis Staggs. I thought it would be important to kind of say, okay, so you guys are in Escambia, Pensacola area. What cities are actually in Okaloosa? So that's Crestview, Destin, Fort Walton Beach, Laurel Hill, Mary Esther, Niceville, and Valparaiso. And then we have some small municipalities, Shalimar and Cinco Bayou, and then some unincorporated areas of Baker and Holt. So that's what makes up all of Okaloosa County. And I thought that I'd go over Vernon didn't give me like what to say. So I thought I would do some like highlights of things that are going on just to kind of get you acclimated to Okaloosa County. And then we can answer questions if there's some questions, but at least keep you engaged in your county that's just 2 over from you. So I wanted to start with some like what's going on.
But one of the things, Jill, let me interrupt for 1 second. You did educate me on something. I always thought Hope was in Santa Rosa County, but it's actually in Okaloosa County, huh?
Yes. It's Okaloosa
Good.
County.
I learned something.
Incorporated, Baker and Holt, but they are part of Okaloosa County.
Really? Okay, great.
Okay. So I wanted to start with like the city commission. There's things that people have been talking about in Okaloosa County. Many of you have traveled into Crestview, and you know that between 3 and 6, you just really don't want to go to Crestview, Florida because of the traffic. But the city commission is actually thinking about increasing the population by adding 1,200 homes on Highway 90. And if you come into Crestview, you can either go 85, you can cut through Niceville and go 285 to 90, or you can take PJ Adams to 90. We know where the bottlenecks are, and many of the community is worried about the environmental. There's 170 acres of the wetlands that it affects, also the wildlife and the gopher tortoises. So people are just worried and concerned. And so they are getting ready to open up where you can go to the meetings and you can actually talk and give your opinions, and hopefully they'll listen. And then I also wanted to share that Okaloosa County Board of Commissioners yesterday voted to approve the appointment of Michelle Shelton. She's an MCS BSN RN. She's African American, and she is the new administrator of the Florida Department of Health in Okaloosa. She was identified as the best candidate with an excellent and diverse background. We want to say congratulations to Ms. Shelton, and we're excited because we are absolutely sure that she will step in and she will now understand what some other people might not have understood, all of the needs of all of the population, especially the Black and Brown community. So we're excited to tell her congratulations, and we look forward to the changes and the implementation and ideas that she has for Okaloosa County. And then I thought I would spotlight a couple of events. We will do MLK, but Vernon, I thought we'd do MLK next week so that everybody can get ready for all of the events. And I thought I would share. So I'm trying to make sure that you get every little piece of something from Okaloosa County. So on Thursday, January 8th, you're invited to coffee with the Fort Walton Beach City Manager. This event takes place from 8 to 9 a.m. at the Fort Walton Beach Public Library located at 186 Miracle Strip Parkway. And then on Saturday, January 10th, you're invited to Reading Education Assistant Dogs at the library. And I want to explain what this is. This is a wonderful opportunity for you to bring your young people into the library, and they get to read out loud. So they get comfortable reading and reading out loud, and their audience is dogs. That is so amazing. This event takes place at 10:30 to 12:40 at the Youth Services Program Room at Niceville Library, located at 206 North Parton Drive. Registration is required, and they do it every 20 minutes. And then I thought I'd highlight a regional event at least once a month, if not every week. And this week, we want to highlight the Blues and Boots barbecue hosted by the Jackson County Democratic Executive Committee. It brings together food and music and community connections, as well as the opportunity to hear from candidates that are running statewide. This event is this Saturday, January 10th, from 12 to 3 at the National Guard Armory located at 3645 Highway 90, Marianna, Florida, and tickets are $20. And then I also thought that it would be good to spotlight an organization. And so this week, I thought we would take the Crestview Resource and Community Development Center. It is known as the CRC. It is located at 798 MLK Avenue in Crestview, Florida. And the telephone number is 850-428-0737. They are open Tuesdays, Wednesdays, and Thursdays, 10 a.m. to 3 p.m. And they have a free computer lab for anybody that is open 10:30 to 2:30 with a special class taught on Wednesdays at 11. And so the Crestview Resource Center opened in October of 2023, and the need has grown faster than anyone could have imagined. With one paid staff member, committed volunteers, and strong community partnerships, CRC continues meeting people where they are. They are a one-stop shop organization. So imagine that you need to go to the doctor, you need to get Social Security help, you need to go to food stamps. Those are in 3 different cities. They're in Pensacola, Fort Walton, and Niceville. They bring all of those partners to the Crestview Resource Center, and you can come there and get most of your services for free. This year alone, the CRC served more than 1,000 individuals and families. Volunteers contributed over 1,700 hours, and partner agencies provided, and this is important, $124,000 in in-kind support. The CRC provides food, security, housing, and utility assistance, legal services, workforce, and technology support, and help for military families. Their work doesn't just respond to crisis, it restores dignity, creates stability, and helps families move forward with hope. And then I'm going to, unless Vernon has something else, I'm going to go into our civic responsibility. And so what do we need to do? First thing, and I'm going to say this, whether you are a Democrat, whether you are a Republican, an MPA, or any of the other party affiliations, it is important that you register to vote and you do vote by mail. And here's why. Our voices matter, and we, the people, are supposed to be engaged and involved in our community. And then you might say, why should I do vote by mail? Like, I want to go to the polls. I want to be there on early voting. I want to make sure my vote counts. Well, here's 2 reasons why. The first reason is once you get that ballot at your house, vote by mail means they're going to send you your ballot at home. And once you get that ballot, you're able to see who are the candidates. You can do your own research. What are the amendments? What do they really mean? And do I agree or disagree with them? And this one always got me through all of my years, judges, because most of the time we don't know judges. And when you get in that room, you're like, they have my same last name, so I guess I'll say yes. I'm just saying that's how I used to do it. And that's wrong. That's not the way to do it. It is so much better to be able to do the research and understand, do these judges uphold things that we, the people in our community and your families need, or are they just doing the job of the person in the White House? Anyway. And then the second reason is because, we never know, anything can happen. You can get sick, you can have an emergency, your child can have a baby, you need to leave go see them. It could be raining, because we know sometimes weather will deter us. But if you have that ballot, you can turn it in, you can fill it out, you can sign it, put your stamp on it, and the only thing you have to do is walk to your mailbox. And for those of you that are like, I don't know if I want to do that, I'm a little worried about whether it's going to get there, we have a tracking system. We can track it, make sure that it gets there. If it doesn't get there, you still can go vote. But it gives you that option A, and option B is going to be to go to the polls.
Absolutely. Great information, Gio. Great information.
All right. Go ahead.
I do know y'all going to have, just briefly, you have a separate activity over in Crestview and then in Fort Walton Beach for your MLK activities as well, right?
Yes. So okay. Crestview normally does it on Saturday. They're doing everything on Monday, so you kind of have to choose this year. Is my understanding. They're still working it out. But in Fort Walton, they have a whole week. So on the 10th, they're going to go ahead and do their oratorical, and then they do the church on Sunday evening, and then the actual march and they do a parade. So the difference really is Crestview does a march and then a program in the center of Crestview. And then Fort Walton Beach goes all out. They have a full program. They do a full parade with floats and the whole 9 yards. And then afterwards, they go to Chester Pruitt Park. We set up. There's information. There's food. It's almost a time to just celebrate with each other in the community. It brings everybody together, and it's really, I'm going to really go into all the details next week, but it is an opportunity for us to come together. And you get, the one thing Martin Luther King was able to do was to bring all people together. Yeah. So Black, white, Asian, Mexican, Hispanic, all of us come together, we march, and we're able, and it's unfortunate that this is the one time we're able to just get along. It's sad that we can't carry that forward day to day?
Yeah.
Why does it have to be just because it's his birthday, his day, his celebration? It should be that we're celebrating each other through the community all the time.
That's true. That is so true. All right, Jill, anything else?
That's pretty much all I have for today, except for to tell you there are ways that you can get involved. I'm sure you're wondering, it's 2026. What can I do? You can volunteer at a school, at a library, at a shelter. You can write to, and I want to just, do want to add this if I have just a moment. It's 2026. We just went through the holidays. It's difficult times for people. And I think that we need to reassure each other that the community is here. Call your family, call your friends, reach out, make sure they're okay, and know that you have community resources. Don't walk through this alone. Don't forget that not only Okaloosa, Santa Rosa, Escambia County, we have what you need. You just have to reach out and ask for help. We're here for you. Don't do this alone. We can do this together.
Absolutely. Jill, thank you so much. We appreciate you for coming on. And you are a staple every Wednesday at what, 7:45? I mean, 7:45, right?
7:45 Central Time. You'll be here with Inside Okaloosa. And I just want you guys to have a great week. Stay safe and make sure you take care of each other.
All right, Jill. Thank you so much, y'all. All right, y'all. That is Miss Jill Daggs over in Okaloosa County with the Inside Okaloosa Report. All right, folks, we're going to take a Black History moment. And when we come back, we're going to be talking with Mr. Charles D. Thornton about the other side. He's our Black Republican in town, y'all. So we want to hear what the other side is up to. All right, y'all, we'll be right back, okay?
Over 100 years ago, the Black nationalist movement in America reached an unprecedented level of popularity because of the efforts of the charismatic leader of the Universal Negro Improvement Association, Marcus Garvey. Born in Jamaica, Garvey grew up in poverty. He came to understand race relations through the lens of British colonialism throughout the Caribbean and Latin America. As his thinking matured, he began to formulate a revolutionary social movement. In 1914, he founded the Universal Negro Improvement Association, dedicated to uniting all the Black people throughout the world. 2 years later, he immigrated to the United States, where his powerful message quickly gained traction.
We want to unite the Negro race in this country. We want every Negro to work for one common object, that of building a nation of his own on the great continent of Africa, for the purpose of bettering our industrial, commercial, educational, social, and political conditions.
He arrives in an era where blacks are still being lynched regularly in the South, around the same time that movies like Birth of a Nation are showing extraordinarily racist depictions of African Americans as monsters.
You have this really charismatic and dynamic individual, and he's talking about, look, our place is never going to be here in the United States. It's never going to be in Europe. It's going to be in Africa. We need to reclaim Africa.
So Garvey is going to be preaching a philosophy of Black pride. He's going to come up with a scheme to repatriate to Africa, and he provides a huge sense of hope for millions of African Americans.
A centerpiece of Garvey's program was the creation of the Black Star Line, a steamship line launched to transport African Americans who wished to emigrate to Africa.
The Black Star Line is this idea that Garvey can buy ships through the support of local African American people, sending in money so you can have a share in the Black Star Line. And these ships were going to take thousands of people back to Africa, to the colony that Garvey was going to establish.
But his advocacy for Black Americans to move back to Africa drew the attention of the United States government, and especially J. Edgar Hoover's Federal Bureau of Investigation, which monitored Garvey's movement, seeking grounds for his arrest and deportation.
Garvey was growing too powerful. J. Edgar Hoover is going to hire their first Negro agents to subvert Marcus Garvey. And eventually, they're going to say that he's been committing mail fraud with the Black Star Line scheme. He's eventually tried, arrested, placed in jail in 1925. He's deported in 1927, and he's never allowed to return to the United States. He dies in London in 1940.
Garvey's legacy as the father of the modern Back to Africa movement cannot be underestimated. He created the largest popular political movement in the history of Black America and would be an inspiration both to the anti-colonial movement and Black nationalist leaders throughout the remainder of the century.
All right, good morning, y'all. That was your Black History Moment, y'all. Absolutely. Black History Moment. Is that you playing that good music, Charles? I hear some music in the background. That's probably on my part of it. Yeah.
I won't take credit for that.
WBQP, radio you can see.
I enjoy.
Stand by, y'all. Let me. Hey, Charles. There we go.
I'm here.
Here we go. Let me get so I can hear you, Charles. I got to do some extra things here. I told everybody that I bought a brand new computer this weekend, and so everything has to be reset up again. You know how that goes, okay? You know how that goes. So
when you buy it new, you got to break it in. Yeah.
Now this is Charles D. Thornton of the Thornton Review. If you have not seen the Thornton Review, you need to look at it, because Charles has a show called the Thornton Review that plays on this station every week, several times a week probably, and where he interviews some great guests on the Thornton Review. So you definitely need to check that out whenever you get an opportunity. So good morning, Charles. How you doing this morning?
I'm doing great, Mr. Vernon. Always good to be in your presence. And I want to thank you for your contribution to this community throughout the years. And I've observed you, your ups, your downs, and stuff. And we're so very proud of you, being our TV station, WBQP. We really, I think our radio station, WRNE, is transitioning in some way, but thank God for WBQP and Vernon Watson. So I want to get that out first.
Okay, very good. Yeah, we trying to keep with the community. You know, when we lost, excuse me, Charles, I got a cold, but we lost Robert Hill. We lost a great man and a great service to this community. And I'm doing what I can to preserve his legacy, okay? Because he built this legacy in Pensacola about sharing information in this station for the last 35 years, and we sure hate to see that go to the wayside. So I'm doing whatever I can. In fact, I created a radio station, an internet radio station right now, which this broadcast is simulcasted on both the radio station and the TV station at the same time, so we can continue the legacy of Robert Hill. Yeah.
And you did not find a parade and jumped in front of it. You've been there with him throughout, and and I can just talk about your contribution, but I know we got other things to talk about, but we are really proud of you and your concerns and how you care about this community. Even though you're from Burnt Corn, we won't hold that against you. Now, I was born in Dothan. I think that's more like the city.
Hey, Charles, you know, Hill and I had been really discussing whether you know this or not. Now, you know, Hill is a connoisseur of the blues. Okay,
right.
If you know that, okay. And there's a blues woman, a famous blues woman by the name of Big Mama Thornton. Okay. Now, Big Mama Thornton was born in around that area over in Culberton County, over that way in the Andalusia area, somewhere or another. And we often wondered, have you traced your roots back to Mama Thornton? Maybe y'all related in some kind of way?
Well, I done my genealogy last year. I went back on my genealogy and I got to do some more research. I wasn't able to tie it in last year, and I'm probably going to have to go. So they have a place over at Pensacola Public Library that someone over there that can help you out. So I'm probably have to look a little bit more in depth because it was in that particular area. And I think, and you're not going to convince me that she probably was either a second. You know how we have second cousin, third cousin, that the lineage, the Thorntons, because we came out of Dothan. Yeah, right. And that was a very musical town. We had the Dothan Sextettes. We had there's a lot of music being played around Dothan when I was born in that particular year. So we're still looking into that.
Mm-hmm. And all right, we're just kind of curious because you probably got some famous lineage there, whether you know it or not.
Some of the traits. He'll like to say I have some of her traits because I love music and all that kind of stuff. Yeah. I appreciate you mentioning that, Vernon. Appreciate you mentioning that.
Yeah. Well, Charles, let's talk about what's going on the national scene with the current administration. I know you're a Republican, and I like to get it from the other side, even though my position is I'm going to not agree with your president on what he did with Venezuela and stuff like that. So, I want to hear from the other side. You know what I always say? There are three sides to the story. Going to be your side, my side, and the truth. So I want to hear from the other side, and this is what this show is called, the other side. So tell me the other side of why these crazy ass Republicans doing what they're doing. That's my opinion, okay?
Yeah.
I know I heard you because we're friends.
And I heard you Saturday, Vernon. You beat us up pretty bad Saturday, man. I had folks calling me. I had people calling me. I had folks calling me, man, wanting me to say. I say that, but and they was agreeing with you, Vernon, and they
wasn't agreeing with me. Okay.
But anyway, you beat us up pretty bad Saturday, so okay. I'm grateful to be here this morning to kind of give you a view from the other side. If you have a question, or you just want me to start talking,
help me. Kind of help me understand the strategy, if you will. Okay, I know that from the Republicans' talking points, it seems to me that we're going against everything that Americans say that they stand for and what we wouldn't do, but apparently it looked like we're doing it, from bombing the ships and taking kidnapping people from their country and trying to steal their oil, trying to run the country. Help me understand why is that from the Republican side?
Well, Vernon, Vernon, it was as far as the president of Venezuela. I want Maduro. I want to say I keep thinking about the guy over in Panama, but Maduro. Vernon. What happened is he was identified and he was charged as a drug kingpin back around 2020, and we put a bounty on him. And at that particular time, and when the Biden administration came in, they upped the bounty, but they never went in to try to get him like we done Noriega or nothing like that. But they did up the bounty, and it's about 30 or 40 countries, I think. I'm thinking, watch out for my numbers, but that did not recognize him as the legitimate president of Venezuela. So unbeknown to me, you, and even congressional folks, it's a tight group of people, Friday night, we, the U.S., went in and done a raid had that Delta Force, which is a group of Army people. I didn't realize that the Army had such a unique group. I heard about Navy SEALs, Marine, Recon Rangers, and all, but the Army Delta Force went in and took him out. And the basic reason, because we had given him an opportunity to turn himself in, resign, because he was flooding the hemisphere, and the U.S. in particular, with drugs. And I have nothing against someone, person of choice, but it was the type of drugs that was actually killing America. And he was using his title of president. Let me do one thing, Vernon. Turn my He was using that title, his presidential title, to flood the country. And so what? So it's one thing to be the president, but when you're the president and you're a drug kingpin, okay, but he was the president and the drug kingpin, and he had to go. He was. It's almost as if, and those that oil that's over there, everybody talking about that oil. That oil was initially, it's a special type of oil, kind of thick crude oil, and U.S. companies had went over and set in place the mechanism to retrieve that oil and to set it up and to take it out and sell it and put it to market. But when Hugo Chavez came in, he nationalized all of it and ran the Americans out. I think Chevron or somebody may have stayed there, but he basically ran everyone away and took the oil. So originally it was kind of like oil we was refining anyway. So what President Trump did, was he went in, he offered the man plenty of opportunities. He was given an opportunity to go to one of these other countries, but he didn't. So we went in and took him out. Number one, people say it's all about the oil. Yeah, oil. The main thing was the drug. We use the drugs as the number one, and a byproduct is the oil, and that's why President Trump and other folks say to getting our oil back, because originally we set up everything over there, and then once you look at it after that, then he partnership with Russia, Iran, Cuba, and all of these third world anti-U.S. companies. They was all coming in supporting him. They wasn't doing nothing with the oil refinery, but they were supporting him and his drug dealing. And so it was just a lot that we didn't do it because of the oil. We went in because of the drugs. He was a drug kingpin.
But isn't the drug was kind of a false flag to go in and so they can take the oil?
Well, everyone is going to have that perception.
Now, Stephen Miller was on the talk show last night, basically saying that. Now, don't you?
Well, if you go in and get the drugs and the oil is sitting there, and the oil is there. hey, we got the drugs. We got the drugs, and while we here take care of the drugs, let's rebuild that oil refinery.
Okay, and let me ask you this question, Charles. Okay, can I ask you this question?
Yeah.
If I was a cop, right?
Right.
If I pull you over, and you had drugs in your car,
right,
and then you had a bunch of cash along with it. Now I can confiscate the drugs, but that give me the right to take your cash?
Well, to take the cash?
Yeah.
You said, yeah.
I'll take his car. You know what I'm saying?
That's a hypothetical. I'm sure it has been done. But as far as whether it's legal or not, as you know, and hopefully, forgive me, my good friend Chip. as you know, sometimes our officers and stuff like that, we may have a bad one in the bad apple in the stack, and we have to deal with that. But But if they do something that's not legal, we're fortunate enough to have someone here in Pensacola that we can turn to, and the type of court system that I don't know whether they can take the cash or not, and they hold it for evidence. And I've seen movies where folks get the evidence and Gang of New York, where they get the money and put it up.
Let's go back to the international thing. Suppose China and North Korea and Russia decides they want that oil too. If the oil is up for grabs, why United States grab the oil? Okay. So suppose they want to get in on the action and get some of that free oil.
The oil is not free. The oil is going to have to be refined, and that whole thing.
I know, but suppose Russia want to refine it. Suppose China want to refine it.
They're not going to. This is the Western Hemisphere, and even if it wasn't, we're not going to let them in. That's one reason.
Stop right there. When you're saying that, y'all, you Republicans are just some crazy ass folks. You ask me, but y'all clever in a stupid kind of way. But you're clever, okay? Now, I know that they doing this all in the name of getting that oil and everything. So I just. I think that was a saying about sometimes if you can avoid avoid suspicion by doing the obvious, and that's what the Trump administration is actually doing. They admit what they're doing, they say what they're doing, and then sometimes it's a great strategy. Sometimes people think, well, okay, nothing wrong with it then. But if China or if Russia decides that, well, I want to get in on the oil, don't you think it's going to lead to a conflict in the world? That if what and I know what they saying about just what you're saying, and that's what I love about the Republican Party. Y'all sing from the same sheet of music. I swear to God, I love that. I wish the Democrat was that smart to do that. And they were talking about the Western Hemisphere, which brings up the Monroe Doctrine and what he called the Don Doctrine now.
Donroe.
The Donroe and stuff.
That's right, the Donroe Doctrine.
The Donroe Doctrine.
Yeah.
So you don't come in this Western Hemisphere and take none of our stuff. We gotta take it ourselves,
But it's ours anyway. They stole it.
Wait a minute. It's Venezuela's oil. I mean, we have nothing to do with
Venezuela's oil.
Country,
but
John.
we went in. Just say if you find a piece of land and just by and you work it, and the folks actually say, "Come on and help work my land," and you find the oil and you build it up and this and that, and they getting a little, U.S. getting a little. It's helping oil prices, but Hugo Chavez came in and he nationalized our companies, and he did not pay us. He just ran us out. So that's what it.
I know, but that's their country they have right to do. That's why the very reason they're mad at Cuba, because Castro did the same thing in Cuba. He nationalized. Remember back in the 40s and the 50s, Cuba was our Las Vegas.
It was like us.
Right. And then Castro came in and nationalized, and he ran them out, and that's why they still got them 50 cars, and they ran General Motors and all those big companies out of there. But it's their country to do that, Charles.
Cuba's in our sight, Cuba.
What if China decides they're gonna colonize the United States of America? They're gonna take it over, okay?
Right now, we have a problem with China over there at the Panama Canal, and we've already told the Panamanians they're going to have to deal with that, and they are dealing with that. But there's no way China is going to come into. They can bring it, but you ever saw a dog with a tail between his legs running out? That's the way they're going to leave it. And I can say that.
Hey,
I
Charles,
can say,
I hear you saying that, but y'all forgetting history and you forgetting biblical history, and they said the same thing to David about Goliath, okay? The bigger they are, the harder they fall. Now, Americans boast what they want to boast, okay? You know why they can say that? Because they really hadn't been tested, okay? They might not be as big and as bad as they think they are. Maybe they're just a bully of the world, but sometimes you might have a David to take it out. Now, I'm gonna give you a case in point, okay?
Okay.
Now, whether you agree with this or not, but in his own right, Castro kicked the hell out of America. The little Cuba actually won a victory over the great, powerful United States of America. Okay, that's why they mad at Cuba to this day about that, how Castro did that in the Bay of Pigs, and they made 6 and 7 attempts to assassinate him. And here's my conspiracy theory, Charles, and this is my personal, without any evidence, I believe that Castro had Kennedy assassinated before Kennedy had him assassinated, without any proof. But that's my and based on a lot of things that I read. But that's my own personal conspiracy theory. Okay, but go ahead. But what you're saying is we the biggest and the baddest thing on this hill, so don't mess with me, right? Like Texas, don't tread on me because I'm the biggest state in the union.
We have the moral high ground. Now I'm not going to. We have the high ground, Vernon. And when somebody say you got the high ground, you just look it up. I'm not going to even, So they can. There's no way, because they had invested into Maduro, but they invested into him. He allowed all these folks to come over here in the U.S. The country had turned into a big gang country. They had forgot about the oil and was focusing on the drug. We knew the oil was there. They sitting on the oil.
They don't call it a reserve for nothing. Okay. Right. So if you can make money on drugs, why get rid of your oil when you got that in reserve? That's your ace in the hole, wouldn't you think?
But they was not maintaining the oil factory. They were selling a little bit to China, a little bit to Russia, a little bit to Iran. They were making just enough.
I give you that, Charles. Okay. I'm not cutting you off, but I'm just thinking out loud and crazy. Now, if you can make as much money on drugs as you can make on your oil, and it takes a lot more infrastructure, a lot more money to pump that crude than it is to push that drugs. And you got a country like United States of America with an insatiable appetite. They wanting the drugs, and so they just supplying it for it. Now you got to blame them. You blame the United States for wanting it. If you want to blame somebody, if there wasn't a need in the United States of America for drugs, then maybe they will dried up, and maybe they start pumping that oil. That's something that America would need.
You're correct, Vernon, that there's a big appetite for fentanyl and all that stuff here in the U.S. And we've lost a lot of people, and the United States is going to have to do a better job of not controlling, but assisting and educating our end users, because we have a lot of end users here in the U.S. And that's something that we're going to have to do. But hopefully we can stop the flow of that type of drug. People are dying from that, and I'm hoping that we don't end just by dealing with Venezuela, because any time, like on the streets, if you take one out, lock one up, then somebody else will step up and kind of replace that person. So we're gonna have to do a better job internally. But at the same time, if we stop the import, and we're going to stop that, and we do some things. Probably Venezuela is going to be so nice in the next few years. We'll probably go there and take a vacation. Once we finish with it, and the oil money, the oil money is not just for the Americans and allies. But that money is going to go into rebuild Venezuela, restructure it. We got some folks in place now that they've agreed that we could do some things, and eventually we're going to get rid of them. They don't have to go too, but why get rid of somebody that's know the lay of the land, know where the rocks are, and eventually we're going to have a free and fair election. And I understand why everybody is.
Are we going to start in the United States having free and fair elections?
Well, you got to ask the Democrats that, Vernon. I don't have the answer. We Christian folks. You got to ask. You got to ask the Democrats. We're gonna have free and fair election. Hopefully, by shutting down some of these folks and running them out of here, we won't have so many illegal voters and stuff like that. So we're trying to create a situation where we can have free and fair election, and we're doing that. So every time we send a plane load, a bus load, a ship load, I don't think those are Republican voters that we're sending back.
That's why they send them back, probably. Probably.
I did not say that.
Many of them
I did not say that.
Republican voters, Charles.
What's that?
It probably was. And, sometimes you be careful what you ask for, because a lot of Hispanic voters swung for Trump this time. And a lot of them voters, some of them that he supported, voted for Trump. But let me ask you before our time run out.
But there's a list, Vernon, and we're probably not sending no A+ voters out. I've been voting since 1971, and you pull my name.
Can I ask you a question?
Yeah.
You're talking just like Republican, okay? And I don't mean any disrespect by that, but what I'm saying, you're saying an A1 voter. I don't know what an A1 voter is. All I know is a vote is a vote is a vote. It's just like going to school, Charles. You can go to school and graduate with all A's, and I can go to school and graduate with all D's, but we both graduate, right? So what is an A1 voter?
A1 voter is a person who has voted since for a long period of time. Say Charles Thornton. If you pull me up, it's going to say 1971, and it's going to say consistent. Voted all the time. I always vote, even when I was out of the country. And politicians can look at that list. They have a list, and you can look at it and tell the status of a person. And it helps out in a lot of ways when you contact your representative.
I don't understand. A vote is a vote, though. It
is a vote.
At mine, you can say I've been voting ever since 1968. So,
right.
But when I vote, it's only one vote. It only got to count one time. It doesn't mean I get extra points because I'm for longevity. Whether you registered yesterday, the folks that registered yesterday vote count as much as my vote since I've been voting since 68. In my black vote count as much as anybody's white vote is count. So a vote is a vote. I don't understand where you're coming from with that.
A vote is a vote, except some folks drop off. And some people get discouraged because their particular candidate or their party don't win, and they in and out. And at that particular time, a vote is a vote. But for some reason, I don't have the answer. Politician has a tendency to look at consistency when they respond, when you make contact, this, that, and the other. A lot of them do that research. So that's why it's important that you vote, and not only one time. And that one time is good, but you vote continuously. And I would love to see more people, no matter what your party, just vote. Just vote.
Now, that we can agree on. Just vote. I mean, do your constitutional duty. Vote.
We fought hard for it.
I think that's where we differ, Charles, in that I think voting ought to be a constitutional right. I don't think that we should probably have to register to vote, but that's neither here or there. But I think that everybody should have a right to vote, regardless of how you vote. is, and I think that's where we different in the Republican Party and the Democratic Party. The Republican only want you to vote a certain way. The Democrat wants you to vote in various ways, voting by mail, voting by, early voting, stuff like that. It doesn't matter to me. It's just like, to me, if my goal, you hear me say this a lot, and you work with me a lot, you probably heard me use this analogy before. If your goal is to go to New York,
right?
Who cares how you get there? Some people might fly, some people might drive, some people might walk, some people might take the Greyhound, some might take an electric bike. As long as you get there on time and on schedule, why should that matter how you get there? But just because you fly don't mean everybody should be flying. So same thing with voting. As long as we can vote, and regardless of the methodology of the process that we use, why is that important? Why do the Republican Party against mail-in voting, against that kind of stuff? Because there have been no significant evidence of fraud and stuff like that. So why is that?
Because it opened the door for fraud, and
there's no evidence of that.
And there is that we have evidence. It's sensational. People voting in one state, the next state. We're having to. That's why we're having to clean the system up now. There's a lot of stuff that goes on when it comes to voting behind the scenes, and more opportunities to vote sometimes create more opportunities to cheat, and even if you don't have any evidence, we don't want it to happen, and we're against that, because everyone, you treat a certain group of people or raise people like they don't have the ability to vote. I don't want nobody to treat me like that. I'm sure you wouldn't want nobody to treat you like that. You got to do this, you got to do this. It's like voting should be important enough to everyone that they can get out and vote, and without having to mail in, do this, do that. But at the same time, that's a whole nother challenge. That's up to. I like a competition within the party, like the Democrats. We're going to do our thing this year because we know we have a chance to lose the House, and the Democrats need to do their stuff. Probably going to do their thing to try to regain it. But this time we're going to, to the best of our ability, we're going to have some real fair elections. We're trying to make this year probably going to be the fairest of all years. So just, if you're going to vote, just sign up. Know who you're going to vote for.
Okay. Hey, Charles, I want to put us on pause for a minute, because I'm going to have Delarian Wiggins going to come in. We're going to talk about some local stuff, and we'll come back. We'll talk, but I want you to think about this when we come back after we talk to Delarian, okay, about why do we need Iceland? I mean, not Greenland, not Iceland, but Greenland and everything. So, but when Delarian comes on, and I don't see him on. Sound like he's on, but I don't see him.
I see his name. I see his name.
I see his name, but anyway, we're going to continue to talk until he pop in and everything. Hopefully that he was just waiting on us to call.
And I have an answer for that, right?
I know you do. I know. Hey, Charles, do the Republicans meet every night and go over their talking points? I can see the mainstream. Trump would lie something out. You say he called it truth, but I call it lie something out on his on his live social that he called a truth social. He tweets something out, and then everybody's saying from that same shooting. I like that. I'll be honest with you. I like that, because that is unity, and everybody's saying from that same sheet of music. So at midnight every night, what happened? Did he treat something out and say, this is the talking point that everybody gonna use?
I just happen to, Vernon, I don't know. I just get lucky and come up with a few answers every night.
Yeah. All right, let's hold on. Darian, if he can come in a little bit. I don't see his video. I see his audio. I don't see his video. There he is. There he is. Flip your camera around the long way. The wide way. Can you
Okay.
flip it around the
Let me
wide
see
way
this.
if you can? If you can't,
That better?
I understand. There we go. Let me see if we'll bring him in. All right, we got Delarian. Good morning, Delarian. How you doing?
Good morning, sir. How y'all doing?
You doing well. You know, I got my good friend Charles D. Thornton Sr. on me.
Delarian. Hey, man, you a handsome fellow, man. Doggone it,
Oh
that
man, I'm trying to be like, hey, I think the longer I'm in politics, the grayer it's gonna get.
Yeah, you look good, man.
It's good. It's always good to see y'all. Talking about various important topics. And so just wanted to jump on right quick and just kind of give y'all an update on what's going on at the Baptist Legacy campus over off of on E Street. And so demolition should be starting here soon. I know North Star is getting ready to put some equipment out. Also, Josh Wallace, who was hired on as a representative, he'll be coming out on Monday at our city council agenda conference to give everyone an update on how the demolition is going to take place in different phases, how the asbestos is going to be removed, and how it's going to be transported. And so I think it's very important that one, Vernon, that you also invite him on your show. That way, the ones that are not able to make the meetings, they're able to get the same update that we'll be getting with City Council. But also to really pay attention to how this demolition is going to take place and how this particular hazardous material is going to be transported from the old legacy location to the landfill. I think that's most important because it's going through what they wanted to do was take it down north or south on E Street, which is right dead smack middle of a neighborhood, and so that concerns me a lot. But overall, those are some things that we'll be discussing in the council agenda meeting, and so I do look forward to seeing you guys. But that's the most latest update that we have as far as the demolition at Baptist. And once that gets done, then of course, then comes the fun part, which is what's next. And so we're looking at reestablishing communication with the Bayou District. And so we're, maybe looking at a community benefits agreement on that. And so that's kind of in the works right now. And also PACES, they're getting ready, which is now PACE, don't confuse PACES with what's going on at Baptist. Now PACES is a totally separate entity that's putting up senior living and some more affordable apartments. But that's their own entity. They have nothing to do with what we're putting at the old Baptist location. And so these are things that are going on, and I just urge the community to get more actively involved, chime in, on our city council meetings, or either contact me and let me know your concerns, and I'll do everything I possibly can to, one, address your concerns, and two, to bring before council and seeing if we can make some, make some changes that's going to benefit the community.
And the city council meeting on Thursdays.
Well, so we have two meetings. One is Monday. It's the city council agenda. And that's where Josh Wallace, he's going to come in and talk about the demolition of Baptist. He's going to give us some updates on how the process is going to work, what phases they're going to go into. And so that'll be on Monday at 3:30.
Okay. All right. Now, I want to depend on you to get me with Josh, okay, so we can bring Josh on so we can talk about it from that perspective.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Absolutely. Don't let Charles beat him up too much though.
Hey, Delarian, as long as you know what's going on, if you're in the loop, I'm in the loop.
That's right. That's right. That's right.
If you're in the loop, so are you satisfied with what you're hearing and what's going on? Are you okay?
I'm good, Charles. The only thing that really concerns me is the asbestos. I know we talk about, when you hear them say, positive and negative flow, and all of you got to wet it down. You put foam on it, But, you know, at the end of the day, it's still asbestos. You still got workers that has to go into the building. You know, of course, you know, they have on protective gear. But, you know, you still got workers going in that building, you know, with their, you know, specialized equipment on. They still got to deal with it. And so that's most concerning to me. If you go back and you look at the Deepwater Horizon, back when we had the BP oil spill, those workers had PPE gear on too. And so when that whole project got done and finished up, you know, now those workers are experiencing different types of ailments, you know, skin cancers, lung disease, lung cancer, and things like that. So, you know, this is some pretty serious stuff. And I want to make sure that not only the community is safe, but the workers that we're putting inside of that building remain safe as to, you know, coming and going, because they have families too that they have to go home to. And so those are the most important things to me, is making sure that you know, the community and the workers are safe as, you know, as this project gears up.
Okay, yeah. That's good. If you're okay, we're okay, because we're counting on you.
Yes, sir.
We'll show up. We can show up, but we're counting on you.
I appreciate it. You know, it's some tough shoes to fill, but I think we're getting it done in the most effective way that we possibly can. But I just want to make sure that, again, we're doing everything possible to ensure that our community is taken care of, and the people that's going inside of that building doing the demolition is taken care of as well.
All right. Well, thank you so much, Larry, for your report. Man. We appreciate it. Okay.
And
all right. Now talk to you soon.
Larry, yes, I'm going to give you a call when I get off. Okay.
Please do.
Okay, I will. All right. Mm-hmm.
Okay. Bye.
All right, Charles. It's back to us. Charles, do me a favor, if you will, because, you know, I'm a TV man. Center yourself a little bit in the center. You go to your, look like you're on your left side a bit. Just slide over a little bit.
It's like that,
yeah.
Is it?
Yeah. There we go, like that. There we go. Like to keep you in the center of the picture. You know how it goes.
Keep me straight, Vernon. What would I be without guys like you, Delarian, and all of that? You guys just make me look good.
All right, now, Charles. When we get to lollygagging, Charles, time flies when you're having fun. But I want to understand about the appetite for Greenland, okay? And what resources in Greenland, why is it so important to the United States of America at this time when it wasn't ever before?
But one reason, Vernon, is because of the strategic location of where it sits. It put us in a situation so we can respond to certain situations in that region. We have bases and we have certain things where we have agreements, where we have international agreement with certain countries, but to take ownership of that country is kind of like when we done our thing, it just gives us another platform, another place where we have ownership to reach other areas in the world. And I don't think they have all or nothing like that. It's based on, I think it's more military type related, strategically, where we don't have to go through Denmark. Denmark actually owns, is in charge of Greenland, and we're trying to cut a deal with Denmark. So, and we're willing to pay for it. Everything is based.
Remember, I don't know. The reason Greenland is Greenland is because of the United States of America. You know, sometime back, they made an agreement with Denmark. They exchanged Greenland for the Virgin Islands. What they wouldn't call the Virgin Islands at that time, but what became the Virgin Islands area. The United States wanted that region, that part of the country, because I guess it's because it wasn't ice and cold. They want the sunshine. So they got the Virgin Islands as a result of that. And so Denmark got Greenland. Now they want Greenland. Is it sure isn't it because of the natural resources and that not uranium? What's that that other rare earth thing they trying to get from uranium?
I know what you're talking about, that they use on computer chips and all that.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, the same kind of stuff that we have in Ukraine and and other countries.
Yeah.
No, it's not. That may be a secondary or byproduct, but the main focus is because of the strategic location. Everybody always want to look at the natural resources as a reason for the United States. Now, if that just happened to be something and we find something there after we done put a bunch of man hours in and stuff like
under
that.
the ice, it just happened to be some oil and some rare minerals and all that kind of stuff.
But we want it. We want it, Vernon, because strategically, it just
how's that
serves a
important? I mean,
purpose.
we got bases in because of NATO. We got bases in every strategic part of the world. We can hit any country we want to. So why Greenland so strategic to what? Okay.
But I just told you I would have to look at the map and see the country. It just gives us another platform, Vernon. Everybody don't love us. Everybody, everybody don't love us the way we love. Everybody don't love the U.S. the way we love it. We love it. We live here. It's good to us. We make our living here and stuff like that. And what we want to do is we get it, and we need ownership of it. Because anytime you go into a place where you're going to have to do an agreement, you're not in charge. I think they have a female president or whatever they call it over there right now. She's not too excited about it, but we're going to probably make them an offer they can't refuse.
Yeah, like taking it up.
We're probably going to make them an offer.
Charles, on one hand, maybe I can understand the strategy, but on the other hand, you know what they say about it's a six and then in a half a dozen, six on one hand, and half a dozen on the other. I always talk in metaphor. So what I think though is that on the six side of it, it might be the same process that people went through back when we did the Louisiana Purchase and all that other kind of stuff to expand the United States. So maybe Trump is doing something like they did back then. When we purchased Manhattan from the Native American, when we purchased Louisiana Purchase, and when we got the when we fought for the Alamo and created the western part of the United States. Okay,
I remember that. I read up on that. Yeah.
Yeah. So that's what made the United States of America then. But I think after that, we stopped expanding. So maybe Trump is trying to expand the United States by adding on more countries. And maybe that's what the concept. I can understand that a little bit. But on the other hand, it is not. My grandmother used to tell me, boy, it ain't what you do, it's how you do it. Okay, but go ahead, John.
Well, I think you're right. We brought Alaska. We got Alaska from the Russians, believe it or not.
Alaska and Hawaii.
Yeah, we brought Hawaii in, and we got California from Mexico, and all that
Texas.
Stuff. So it just an additional move that's timely. We didn't have a space department, but now we got you got it. One thing is you got to keep up with the times. You got to change, and a lot of it has to do. Here again, everybody don't love us. Everybody does not love us. We do a lot of things.
Are you saying don't love us? You mean the Republicans, or you mean the United States of America?
I mean, I'm
just joking.
I mean the country. The country. The Democrats and the Republicans, we have our differences, but at the end of the day, hopefully the overall go. But everybody don't love us. Greenland would be nice, and I'm of the opinion that we're probably going to get it. We'll probably get it, and I don't know how, because my name is not Marco Rubio or nothing like that. But we're probably going to end up getting Greenland sometime this year, and it's going to be a win-win. It's going to be a win-win.
Okay. So what's the strategy for Venezuela? Are we going to take that country or run that country? Or what do you foresee what the Trump
what we're going to
administration doing
do?
with that?
Well, with Venezuela, and what we'll probably end up doing is we we have a structure in place, and all these people, folks are not Noriega, Maduro people, and we're going to let them go as far as they can go. Try to get someone to try to cut down on the drugs. If we see a decrease in the drug flow, and we keeping our monitored all the ships out there, and once we get stabilized it, we're going to have what we call some fair elections over there. We're going to have, because the last election, the person that won was not Maduro, but he done, it's crooked. He wasn't the real elected president. So we want to have fair elections, and hopefully we can get somebody that more friendly to the U.S. They're going to be independent, but of course, we're just keeping on it. This is our hemisphere, bro. We got to keep an eye on stuff around here. Because one of the main reasons is because China, Russia, Iran, they've been penetrating the Western Hemisphere. They're getting so close to us. They really are. And you get these countries, the third world countries that don't have money, and they come in, and next thing you know, and that's what we got to clean up. So we got to get a regime, not a regime, but we got to have some elections over there and get some folks who gonna run it. So, Mayor, you can take a vacation over there one day.
So what about the other countries like Colombia, and he was talking about those South American countries?
Colombia, hopefully a lot of these countries, I don't think Cuba's going to be able to escape. We're going to have to do something about that. But I think Colombia may have an opportunity. Number one, Colombia is not letting no more refugees in. They may have an opportunity to clean their act up, because a lot of these countries just sold out, and the money is all up top. The money, instead of the money going to the people, you have a thing where the haves and the have-not, and there's a big gap in the middle. So what we're saying, do good with your people. We're even trying to deal with Iran now. We hopefully we can straighten them out too, brother. We have a short one, and people say, by doing this, why don't you work on the price of eggs and groceries? We're working on that. Gas is going down. Everything is going down. People gonna get a big rebate on that tax return this year. Gonna get some extra money. Not gonna be as much taxes. We're trying to make it.
Where did the rebate on the taxes charge? Talk to me about that. I haven't heard about that.
I said you're going to get a better return. I won't say rebate, but you're going to get because a lot of things has been taxed less. You're not going to end up having to pay taxes on so much. So you're going to get a better return, and the code is going to be set up so when you file, hopefully you get something. You're going to be able to get something back, and just medical healthcare insurance. We're taking money from the big corporation medical institution. Right now, all the medical companies getting the money. We're gonna give the money directly to the individuals, so the individuals can go out and shop and get their own type of insurance. So we're gonna make sure we stand that up and stand it up right.
Is that the plan for that to replace the Healthcare Act? Is to give people $1,500 and tell them to go out and get their own insurance?
I won't put a dollar amount on it, but we're not going to leave you hanging. And I know there's some Democratic talking points out there, but that's politics. Everybody, you're going to hear a whole different story from the Democrats, because they're in a position where they're trying to win the midterm, and we're going to defy. And it always goes to the party that's not in power, and we think we're in a good position to maintain the House and Senate, because if the Democrats win the House, first thing they're going to do is impeach the president. Then they're going to try to impeach somebody. So we're not going to get nothing done. They're not going to remove him, but they're not going to have enough votes in the Senate to remove him. But the first thing they're going to do is start impeachment proceeding. So what we're trying to do, we have an opportunity to impeach folks, but we're not doing all that. We're trying. We are working for the American people. There's
Y'all
a lot
done
of
far worse
we
than
are working
impeaching
for.
folks. Y'all
We
snatching
got
them off the street and y'all bombing them into international waters, and y'all done a lot
those,
worse, in my opinion,
those
Charles.
are not Americans. Those are people who came here illegally. Those are people that you're spending money. Your tax dollars is going toward, and everybody else's tax dollars. We and that's something that happened to the housing market. All these folks came over here and lack of housing, and now more houses going to be available. Just we're trying to fix it. The whole thing. I know what you hear from the other side, and because it's politics, they have to say the stuff they're saying. But we only been in office not even a year. January will be a year next month. Be a year, but we're trying to make it, and we're hoping. I told my thing to you was, Vernon, talk to me in April or May.
We definitely gonna be talking.
I told you
We'll
that,
see
right? I said,
what happens. We'll see.
give us an opportunity, and folks worrying about their medical care and stuff. It's all right. You're supposed to worry. Worry is what keeps you motivated and keeps you going. You got things to deal with, but we're trying to make things better for the American people, not just up to the top. And I know you hear the thing about but the Democrats are in the insurance company's pocket. That's why they want to keep it like it is. A lot of their money is coming from these insurance companies. Yeah. We're trying to take the money away from the insurance companies and give it to the people. And everyone may not have the same needs. It's probably going to be based on your needs. You're going to get health care, but we don't want you getting so much of the bill, because it's the bill a lot of times that take folks out when you're dealing with medical. Even under the program we have now, you can run up some bills. So we got a lot of stuff going on, Vernon.
I know one of the things that speaking of that, Charles, that's the problem I have. What I call the Republicans' batshit crazy policies. You know, I don't understand their batshit crazy policy with this crazy ass president. The idea of like student loans, instead of forgiving the student loans, now the big push on not only not to give them student loans, but now to try to garnish their wages when they're not paying these student loans. But anyway, Charles, these are conversations we can talk about.
I'll talk to him about that. We'll see what we can do about that.
What now?
I said, we'll see what we can do about that. I don't really agree with that. I don't really agree with that either, you know, because I had end up having to get a student loan for my son and stuff, and had to go through all that. So I agree. We can agree to agree that.
But you know, Charles, speaking of that now, okay, and then we're gonna have to go because our time is up. About student loan, I didn't really, you know, sometimes you have to look in the mirror, okay. Now, I didn't realize until my daughter went to college how easy it is to get a student loan. Now, I saved up my monies. Some kid to college. You remember, was it Cora? You remember when we were working at NAS?
Yeah, I remember Cora. Yeah.
Cora, she was the savings bond lady, right?
Yeah, we would buy the savings bond.
Yeah, buy the savings bond. And she used to worry me every day about buying savings bonds. And so I don't need no savings bond, but she told me one day, she said, well, when I had my first child, Vernon was born in 1984. She said, well, if for no other reason, you ought to get a savings bond to save up for your kids' college education. That makes sense to me, Charles. So I decided I'd do that. And I started getting savings bond to save up my child's education. So when they got grown and went to college, I had the money to pay for the education. So when my daughter went down to what's the school down in in Orlando called Central
Florida, Central Florida,
Central Florida, yeah,
Central Florida.
And we had a briefing, and they said that we have to tell these parents now that these kids they're at least 18 years old. Don't blame us, but they can just sign the name and get student loans. And many students were doing that. They're just getting student loans and using that money for other stuff than for education. And nothing you can do about it. So what happened is you allow an 18-year-old to decide to get themselves into $50, $100, $150,000 worth of debt, and for these student loans, when they come out of college, they $200,000 already into debt, and so we allowed that process to take place. Now they say, well, let's forgive the debt. Okay, that's probably neither here or there, but they ought to fix the problem so that it don't make it as easy for these folks to get in. Like, good thing my daughter didn't sign up because she already had her college already paid for. But she could have, and she was irresponsible, is to sign and say that I need a college loan and took the money and bought her a car or something like that. She didn't. But that's what happens. And so we need to, to plug the holes where we got big loopholes in the system.
Well, we need more accountability and oversight into that particular system when you're dealing with the young people. My son too, he went to a very expensive art school, my youngest son,
yeah.
and cost a lot of
money. Yeah,
a lot of money. It was a private school, and yeah. So I'm all for the forgiveness, and as a matter of fact, under Biden, my son had his student loan forgiven, but I had to get a loan for him too. But they didn't forgive mine. I don't know why they forgave his and wouldn't forgive mine. I guess maybe because I don't know what party was in office at that time, but anyway.
I think I imagine who it was that didn't give it to. But anyway, Charles,
yeah, they
I
forgave
him.
He got his forgiven, but I had went out and the parent was able to get a loan for him too. So I got mine, and I got mine down to a few pennies. So
okay.
Yeah.
All right, Charles, our time is up, but this is Charles Thornton, y'all, what I call the other side, and Charles gonna be on every Wednesday to tell you about the other side, whether you agree with it or not. And 9 times out of 10, I don't agree. Some things you say, Charles, I do agree with, but I still think y'all got some batshit crazy policies. But I always say there's a reason behind everything. So I want folks to understand why the other side do what the other side, and then let you make your own decision. Tomorrow we're gonna have Derek on and let the Democrat Party tell their position on what the reason they do what they do. And then you balance it. They let you make a decision. You listen to Charles, you listen to Derek, and then when you come to voting, then you make your decision. But at least you have both sides of the story.
Yeah. And me and Derek may not agree on everything political, but we're friends.
Yeah.
We're friends.
And I think that's the thing that we got to get back to in this country is civility, Charles. Like you and I, we don't politically we don't agree at all. Well, just a little bit, but we've been friends for what 50, 40 years now.
Yeah,
I don't know, but we've been friends for a long time.
Yeah,
so I don't hold your politics against you, Charles. Everybody entitled to be wrong.
I know.
Charles.
I wish they had more folks like you, and Derek does a good job of what he does too.
Derek does a great job.
Yeah, he does a good job for the Democratic Party. He does.
Yeah.
He really does.
Yeah,
all right, Vernon.
All right, Charles. I'll see you next Wednesday on the other side at 8 a.m., y'all. And y'all, it's time for me to get out of here. Charles, you got any last words before we go?
No, just say I love you in Pensacola, and don't forget about the prayer breakfast and the MLK parade. I got my ticket for the prayer breakfast already, so I'll be there. I have my ticket. Yeah.
Very good.
Right.
All right, y'all. Thank you. We appreciate you. Okay. All right, y'all.
Okay.
All right, y'all. It's time for me to get out of here. I'll see you tomorrow. I won't be here Friday, so make your note on that. I won't be here Friday morning because I got an appointment that I can't cancel. And so I won't be here Friday morning, but I'll certainly be here Thursday. But Monday I start all over again, y'all. So y'all tell everybody I love you. And as old Ma would say, I love you with a perfect love. And George Wallace said, and ain't nothing you can do about it. So tell everybody about Vernon this morning, a morning with Vernon, Monday through Fridays from 6:30 to 9 a.m. All right. We'll see you we'll see you tomorrow morning.
It's time for Mornings with Vernon. Yeah. Yeah, get up now, come on now, get up. From mornings with Vernon. Get up now, let's go. Get up now, turn it up now. 1, 2, 3, let's get it out.
Start your day with Mornings with Vernon on WBQP, Monday through Friday from 6:30 to 9 a.m. Watch on Channel 12 and listen on WBQP Radio on your phone, Alexa, or CarPlay.